You know, I personally like this. Rohan Patel is a Tesla executive, and he further clarified what happened during that crash that the Washington Post said was perhaps the first FSD crash that actually involved someone passing away. He emphasized that FSD was not even downloaded. I like posts like this actually from Tesla. He says, it's important to note that the regulations force us to report an incident to NHTSA even if we have verifiable evidence that the ADAS system was not enabled, which is what caused so much confusion about this story, because it was made to seem that autopilot or some other driver assist feature was definitely on based on data, but no, it's only based on hearsay. This FSD engineer worked at Tesla for 7 years, and he's also a Tesla investor. He thinks that FSD version 12 end-to-end approach is very promising, and that he's very confident Tesla will have its FSD ChatGPT moment. It's based on his understanding and experience of testing version 12. You know, seeing Elon excited about FSD is one thing, but seeing Tesla engineers excited about FSD, I think puts it on a different level of excitement, because generally speaking, Tesla engineers have been a lot more conservative. So that's of course good to see. Keep in mind that he's no longer a Tesla and he's now an investor. So take it for what it's worth. Tesla has rolled out some cold weather supercharging improvements. You know how before supercharging, there's a message that says preconditioning battery for fast charging when you are navigating to a supercharger. Tesla has now supplemented this message, telling the driver how much time is left for the battery to warm up sufficiently for optimal fast charging. Additionally, my Canadian friends will really like this. The update introduces an automatic warming of the charge port, so you never need to worry about the charge port not opening possibly immediately because it's so cold. But there's more. Another feature of the update is that the range estimation now includes battery age as a consideration in its calculations. And maps now display accidents and closed road markings. We have not heard much about India, but there is a bit of an update today. India is considering offering concessional import duties to foreign car manufacturers like Tesla to boost its electric vehicle market. The central government is finalizing a policy which will allow a 2 to 3 year window with reduced import taxes in exchange for bank guarantees and a commitment to feature local manufacturing by Tesla. Currently, if Tesla wanted to sell, let's say, Model Ys, it would have to pay 100% import duties on each vehicle. After criticizing FSD beta a lot in the last few days, Electric has published this article, which at first seems like it's further criticizing FSD, but not really, actually, if you read the article. Tesla full self-driving beta saved me once and tried to kill me twice. Now, you could argue that this is a net positive. I was able to correct FSD beta the 2 times it almost killed me, and if it hadn't reacted in the traffic on the last example, I most likely would have had a crash. I would agree with that. My general take is that it is safer to drive with FSD beta than without, as long as you are paying as much or more attention as you would if you were driving without. I would also generally agree with that, especially in places where I know FSD would not try to disengage every 20 seconds. For example, let's say I'm going through a construction zone and it disengages. I usually almost never turn it back on immediately, because almost every time I did before, it would just disengage within 5 seconds again. That's FSD 11. Maybe FSD 12 will be very different. But I certainly agree that with FSD on, I think driving is generally safer, because it's almost like you have this another entity, human being, virtual human being, artificial human being that's paying attention to what's happening. And for example, one time when I was about to make a turn, I turn left and then I turn right and I'm about to go, but the car is not going. The car was on FSD and I was like, why is it not going? And then I look left again and I see that the car came out of this almost nowhere, not exactly nowhere, but I didn't see that vehicle. I would have seen it eventually, but it would have been an uncomfortable situation. I would have probably hit the brakes rather abruptly. And FSD made that moment a lot more comfortable than it otherwise would have been. But on the flip side, I also had a lot of moments where FSD did something silly.